Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning to my channel. My name is Reginald and this is Clever with Cash. I make videos about personal finance, my personal debt-free journey, and also budgeting. If you're interested in content like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And to get notifications of all of my new videos, hit the bell button. Today's video is going to be about consequences of paying off debt. So there are good things and bad things about paying off debt. Mostly good, but today is going to be about some negative things about paying off debt that you may not have thought would come up while you're paying off debt. So the first thing is FOMO, fear of missing out. Now I personally had this a lot. I would be at work on my side hustle, but then I'll be on social media, see that everybody's out living their lives, partying, on vacation, and here I am at work, making money to pay off debt. Fear of missing out is definitely real. We live in a society where everyone is showcasing their best parts of their life. That's all that we showcase. Now, I am guilty of this as well. I post a lot about my achievements, my accomplishments, but I don't always post when I'm down. And you never really see when people are feeling down. So fear of missing out is definitely a real one. Even if you know your purpose, you know why you're getting out of debt, it can be frustrating to see other people just having fun, whether they're in debt or not in debt. You're just like, okay, I want to be there. I would rather be there than at work. Exhaustion. Now, I was very exhausted while paying off debt. There were times where I would be working my side hustle, valet driving, which I started off on weekends, and I would be working until midnight. And then I'll have to be up for work the next day at 7. During the week, my side hustles was tutoring. I would go to work at 7:30, get off work, go tutor students, then go tutor more students, and then go back home. And of course, try to find time to eat in there. And I wasn't eating out. So I was extremely exhausted. You don't necessarily see the immediate benefits while you're paying off. So that can lead to lots of frustration and burnout. Like I would literally be on my break as a teacher doing planning. Sometimes I would just put my head down and then just pass out and then wake up whenever it was time for me to go pick up my students from ancillary. And yeah, it was real. So I was very much exhausted time period. And that wasn't the whole time, but that was part of the time. And that was that season of my life. And you won't be exhausted the whole time while paying off debt. There'll be times where at least for me, I got extremely burnt out, so I just stopped all the jobs. Will help pull back on some of the jobs and then started working more jobs. Number 3 is your dating life. Dating for me was difficult because I was so focused on getting out of debt and anybody was in the way of that goal. It was difficult for me to even take my time to date that person. It was difficult for me to even take my time to date that person because I was like, oh, they don't have the same mindset as me, and I didn't really have time to explain to them exactly what I was doing. It would just frustrate me if we were like on 2 different pages. Now, I'm not saying you can't date. I did date during the process, but at the very beginning, it was too much to juggle, especially if you're single. Of course, if you're in a relationship or you're married already and your partner's on board, it's so much easier for you. But if you're single and you're actively looking to meet someone else, it can be very frustrating to date and try to find someone that's on the same mindset, but also having the other person understand why you're working. So they may not understand, they may just think that you're just working to work, and they may think that that's going to be your life forever and that's going to be the kind of person you want to be. So you may have to communicate with them that, you know, this is temporary and this is what I want to do. But also too, if they're not willing to be there for you during that journey, then they're not the right one for you. But it does suck. I'm not gonna lie. I won't say that it's not unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Number 4 is loneliness. Whether you're single or married, I've heard this from people that are married, people that I follow on Instagram and YouTube. They're lonely during that journey as well. They have each other, but they don't necessarily have the support of others. So I was very, very lonely because if you're exhausted when you get off work, all you want to do is go home. And usually, a lot of times with friends, things cost money and it's taken away from your time that you could be working to pay off debt. So for me, it was very lonely at times, and it's hard to say no to people sometimes for me. And I've gotten better at that, but it's hard to say no, and especially if you don't want your friends to not like you or not understand what you're doing, and you can feel like, why am I even doing this? I'm the only one doing this. Everybody else has debt. Why do I have to do this? Why did I get into debt? Number 5 is feeling guilty. I felt guilty sometimes, not a lot, but sometimes I would feel guilty and I would beat up myself for even accumulating all of the debt that I did. And if you want to watch the video on about why and how I accumulated $48,000 of debt, the video is included in the description of this video. But yeah, so I spent time reflecting on like how did I end up here and why am I here? That led to a lot of guilt, feeling guilty about decisions that I made in the past. That's real. So a lot of people in our society talk about all the good, but there's not always going to be good during your debt-free journey. It's going to be more sacrifice than good. You will have little milestones that are very exciting, but they won't compare to how much work they. Last but not least, you may lose friends. I did lose some friends during this process. And some friends we are not as close of friends, but then some friends also too that I've gravitated more towards. And there are also friends that I've made, even through social media. I've made friends because they're a part of a community that is like-minded like myself. They lose friends because you're constantly saying no to go to stuff, or your friends that you had that you do certain activities with, you no longer want to do those activities because they cost so much money, or you feel like you're wasting money. And I find myself in that boat as well. Even though I do enjoy going out every now and then, I'm not necessarily friends with a lot of people that I would like to go out with. We're not as close anymore that I would like to go out with, hang out with all the time, like go out to the club or party at the bars. COVID just made me see that I really needed to just follow through with my debt-free journey. And I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna focus on this, and this is something that I take to be serious. And then you even lose some of your close friends. Setting healthy boundaries, and whenever you set boundaries for yourself and people don't respect those boundaries, you learn who is your true friend and who isn't your true friend. So I've learned that some people are not my friends because they can't respect my boundaries. That's okay. These are just some things that I learned while going through the debt-free journey, and these are just some negative things that you will experience during that journey. And this can apply to more than just a debt-free journey. This can apply to anything you want to accomplish in life. If you're wanting to go to medical school, you're gonna find that you can't party all the time. You have to study to take your MCAT to make really good grades. You have to shadow doctors, or you have to be around people that are aspiring to be in medical school or have been to medical school. The debt-free journey has taught me that you can apply this to many areas of your life. You can apply this to your careers, you can apply this to your relationship, your friendship, your health. Personal finance goes hand in hand with all of this. If you want anything bad enough in life, you have to accept that it's going to be hard to get there, but once you get there, it's going to be so worth it. On my next video, I'll be sharing with positive things about me paying off debt and just going through the whole debt-free journey, because there are a lot of positive things there that I personally experienced since paying off $48,000 in debt. If you found this video to be helpful, make sure to hit the like button, and also just comment your thoughts if you have any other thoughts or questions for me.